G'day world and welcome back to Stuff We Do, where we do all the knife stuff you love. Knife reviews, knife tests, knife modifications and outdoor stuff with knives. Today we're actually only talking about this knife, but I brought out a few others to just show you. Okay, this thing is marvelous. This thing is marvelous. I've had it now for, I don't know, a few months, but this thing is fantastic. You cannot see where my keys are rubbing against it because my knife and my keys are in the same pocket because of the deep stonewash on the titanium. Wonderful, no hot spots. You know, sometimes you get that horrible sharp edge over here. This does not do that. We have a beautiful Almax blade. Almax right over there, and then this is a fantastic blade shape for my needs. Okay, and that means I'm cutting food with it, most likely meat and raw meat. Anyway, if you look at the tip, it is quite robust, yet if you look at all the swedging, it still grabs finger skin like a champion. So this thing should be wonderful for all your tactical applications as well. And this is a war blade. There we see that little picture. A war blade, and this is the warrior. You also get a more drop point looking one, and that is the, or leaf shape, I don't know what they call it, but it's the Anubis. Okay. Hopefully one day we'll look at that one also. Okay, we are also, I think towards the end of this year, maybe next year, I cannot remember, we're going to get an XL version of this thing. The only change will be instead of Almax, it will have M390. And then also, at some stage, I don't know when, Reverse Edge Cutlery will also be making these exact same ones. I think the only difference will be, except for Almax, it will have M390. Anyway, I'll add the link in the description to Warblade. Now, look at the action. Oh my good gracious. Okay, it does middle finger flick, ow, like a champ. That was me hitting the table. It does middle finger flick like a champ. It does work wonderful with the thumb studs. This thing is marvelous. Okay, do you hear that thwack? Nice, listen. Nice. Okay, so this thing is marvelous. It is a frame lock. It does run on bearings. It is fantastic. Okay, so everything on this knife is great. I love this thing. Now, let's compare it to a few other things. Well, the only reason I actually took this thing out is because this is my favorite Almax blade. Yeah. And look at the two of them together. This is the Ace Grant by Giant Mouse. So the Warblade is a bit bigger in the blade, but the same length in the handle. Can you see that? But it also has that nice big belly. I really like it. Okay, so these two things, fantastic. And yes, I must say my favorite Almax blades that I have. If you have not seen videos on any of these things, please go check them out. This one I do think actually is on washers. I cannot remember. I cannot see in there. Oh well, whatever. But this thing, fantastic. Voxnes and what's the other one? Well, whatever. Just go check the video. Okay. Then this thing. One of my favorite titanium knives of all times. It is the Rake and it's the Hussar, the fancy one, but it's got a different name. It's got like M121TZ, blah, blah, blah. This one is S35N. I did anodize the scales and the hardware I bronzed and I changed that thing and whatnot. But anyway, go check the, oh, it's got that extra lock thingy. Go check the video on this thing. Also fantastic knife. Now let's quickly do a comparison. About the same on both ends. Okay, lengthwise. But the fact that this has got such a broad blade makes it wonderful. Okay, then, just for everybody's sake, a standard PM2. I took out the project one because it just seems to match better. They are exactly the same length. Okay. Thickness, pretty close. Blade stock way thicker on the war blade. Very, very nice. Okay, put that there for a second. Put that to the side. Then this thing. Okay, this is a wonderful thing. If you are looking for, I'm going to say budget. No, I'm going to lie to you. This thing, I cannot remember the price, but I think it might be quite up there. Okay, so this is the Pickled Steel Valkyrie. X2 or Remet or whoever also has this, because Remet is pretty much, they have the same manufacturer, or they are the manufacturer for Pickled Steel, or have the same manufacturer. I cannot remember exactly. Front flipper, thing at the back. Look at this wonderful thing. This is like my church knife, church flipper, if you can get something like a church flipper. Wonderful, wonderful little knife. Go check the video on this thing also. Anyway, so if we take these two together, then the Valkyrie is quite a bit shorter in the blade and also in the handle. Very small little thing, but very nicely done. Nice. Okay, and then this is our Sebenza, Chris Reeves Sebenza. These two are exactly the same length. Do you see that? Okay, this one hollow ground plate, this one flat ground plate, but the same length and everything. Now, a few things I like and I do not like. Even their thumb studs look almost the same. This one's got a higher piece before it goes to the cone. Do you see what I'm saying there? Which is actually nicer than this. And then blade stock, thicker on the war blade. Overall, it's the same thickness, but this has been contoured. Do you see that? Which makes it so much nicer to hold. Okay, this one does feel a bit blocky. It is still fantastic, but it does feel a bit blocky. But remember what I said last time, you buy this knife to have this knife, not to have a knife. If you understand what I'm saying. Okay, washers. So it's more comparable to a rat than to this, actually, because this thing, look at the action on this, because it's got the bearings. Oh my goodness, this is wonderful. Anyway, so if you want something more fidgety, go for something with bearings. This more for work. Okay, wonderful, wonderful knives, both of them. The only thing, okay, I know some people complain about this. Do you see these, what do you call it? What do you call this? Screws, the pivot and the standoffs and the stop pin. Okay, because this stop pin works as a standoff also. So some people complain that it goes into this contour here at the back. Okay, what not. But on this knife, the only thing I would have, because this thing is fantastic. I love the pocket clip. I love the look. I love the feel. I love the handle. I love the materials. I love the weight. I love everything about this knife. This thing is as close as knife perfection as you can get. Well, it's expensive, but I love this thing. But the only thing I would have liked more is, look, if you look at any of these, well, really hard use knives. Do you see, well, let's get the shinier one. Do you see the stop pin? Okay, look at the size of the stop pin. It's got screws going all the way through to make sure this thing is strong. Screw, stop pin, look at the size, make sure it's strong. This one has got, doesn't have a super thick stop pin. It's thick enough. Well, that one also doesn't have a super thick stop pin. Anyway, it's thick enough, but I would have liked a few screws going through that. Not that I'm thinking it's going to actually tear out of the titanium or anything like that, but I don't know. I just like that. Well, it's going to ruin the aesthetics because this thing is beautiful. Okay, so there we go. Warblade Warrior. After 2 months of use, I love this thing. It is wonderful. It does not show. Look at the blade also. See, even the blade is like nicely stone washed. Look at the edge. The edge. Look at the handle. Wherever it gets a little bit scratched, it just looks like it's supposed to be like that. You see where the keys are hitting it? It looks like the rest of the blade. Ach, the scales. Oh, this thing is marvelous. Okay. I'm gonna braai. I bought some things. Well, actually this morning already. We woke up early, we went, we got stuff, then I came back, I was working the whole day. So now it's about, I don't know, 3 o'clock, I don't actually know, but it's a late afternoon or later in the afternoon on a Saturday, and I'm going to start braaiing in a little bit. So please follow along if you want to. Good morning, we're in my wife's dirty car and we are standing at the drive-thru for breakfast. We're gonna go get supplies for today and I am playing with my war blade. This thing is fantastic. Okay, so we're getting ice cream. It's gonna be 35 degrees today and we are getting supplies for a braai this afternoon. Okay, breakfast of champions, boerie hash brown steak and a Coke, and now I have to work and then this afternoon we'll braai. Okay, it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. My kid was playing in the braai apparently sometime, but I'm not gonna clean anything now. I'm just going to chuck that in there and start the fire. Okay, just chuck the whole thing in there. Get that started. Can you actually see that? No, you cannot. Okay, that's how we start the fire. Oh, you didn't see me spin this thing like a champion. Okay, it's hot today. It's like 35 degrees Celsius again. Okay, let's see when this is cold. Okay, we can see ants running into the roof of my little roof over here. So I really hope that's a sign that it's going to be raining now. Okay, before I start braaiing and doing all my things, let's just make sure this thing is still sharp. Oh goodness, this thing is a razor. Nice. Okay, the bag is pretty much gone, the coals are pretty much on fire, but we have to wait because this is way too green to braai yet. What's the first thing you put on the fire when it's extremely hot? Yes, the grill, so you can clean it. Okay, the fire is very close to being ready. Okay, we got swing ball. I don't know if you can all remember that. Anyway, then inside grandma's casserole, what we're gonna make today is some pork rashers, smoked, sweet and smoky flavor. We have some lamb boerewors, free range. These things were caught next to the road. And then Wagyu beef boerewors, but it's thin little things like my finger. Anyway, so we're gonna do that today. Okay, the fire is way too hot, but I have them on here. The ribs, what's this stuff? The rashers. Look at them, nice and thick. They have been tinned once already. I have my lamb wors coiled because it's always easier to work them when they're coiled, and my Wagyu beef, what do you call it, sausage, I suppose, over there. Yes, this is gonna be yummy, and we're not eating it with pop or with salad or with bread. If you don't know what pop is, it is maize meal, white maize that have been ground and that you boil for a while with salt, and then it's delicious. It's like grits but better and not thick pieces. That would be krummel pop. Yeah, that's grits will be krummel pop, I think. Anyway, so I have this stuff over here, and now we're eating it with cheese and pasta, whatever salad, because it's very hot and it stays hot until late at night, so we are eating it in a more whatever way. The nice thing about all of this stuff I have on here, look, I did the hand like a hand model should. Anyway, so the nice thing about all of these things on here is I do not actually have to spice anything because they are all spiced already. I'm not going to put jimmies on the smoked riblets, whatnot. I'm just going to do it like this. Nice. Okay, I'm back again. When you play with knives, well, you should not play with knives because they are tools, but when you play with knives, ask yourself, how do you stab yourself under the nail? Do you see that? That is very sore. Okay. Okay, first turn for everything except the rashers. They actually look bleaker on this side, but we're still going and it still looks good. Ow. Okay, it's still very hot. This is the lamb boars. Okay, it tastes like lamb. It's delicious. And it tastes like lamb. It's great. Then the Wagyu. Okay. Wait, I just dropped that. That's really good. And here in South Africa, it's actually cheaper for the Wagyu wors than for the lamb, which is insane. Okay. Okay, and these things look pretty close. I like my, what do you call these things, thrashers, pretty crispy. They look pretty much done. I think it's time for me to eat. Delicious. Okay, and this is me, all of you. The end's gonna come now. Okay, if you have made it till the end of this video, you are fantastic. You must have yourself a fantastic... Oh, it's not Sunday. Fantastic weekend still. Stay safe, happy, have a good one. Oh, tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day. We'll do something. Goodbye.